Ladies and gentlemen, make loads of noise for Poet and David Vianney.
What's up, fam? How are you? You alright? How are you, geezer? How are you then, man? How's everyone? You feeling good?
I mean, yeah, we have some special guests to come. It's the new revamped Adidas store. It's looking absolutely beautiful in here today. And obviously, for you Man United fans, the new away kit for next season. I'm touching it. I know, you know who I support, but I do like the colour. It is looking quite nice.
We're going to get into a surprise guest we've got. A good friend of ours.
Oh, yeah. Legend.
Love him to bits. Absolute legend. It is the one and only Stormzy. Give him a big round of applause.
What are you saying, fam? Yes.
Welcome, guys.
Hello, my name's
Welcome, my bro.
You're a bit strong, you know.
Sorry, of course I'm having.
Have a seat. Don't knock anything else down. There's some like custard creams and some grapes. How are you, brother?
I'm alright, bro. How are you?
How was your journey here? I heard you were late.
I weren't late.
So let's talk
the way we
about
roll.
your music though, man. Let's talk about the fact that you dropped a video and then you want to try and get like millions of views in a couple of days. It's a bit disrespectful. Trying to catch up here.
I mean, the question of, I think on everyone's minds is, what the hell has happened to grime? How has it come to this stage now?
For me, it's a blessing that everyone's now embracing each other. Like I feel like in the UK, like we all know we're sick, like, and we're all saying, yeah, you're sick. Like this is sick. We're gonna come out to things like this. We're gonna go to your show. We're gonna buy your record. We're gonna listen to your video. I feel like it's a family thing now in the UK, and everyone's saying, yeah, like we're finally kind of standing up to the Americans. Like we're sick. Do you know what I mean? Like we've been sick. Do you know what I mean? So
Do you know what's incredible as well? The fact that this younger generation genuinely doesn't care. They're very ambitious. I think they see things a lot more different than the generation above us. Like my mum had dreams of me becoming a doctor and teacher and stuff. And
they used to joke around that I was going to be a bin man.
I said that, I think I tweeted maybe like a couple of days ago, I said now I feel like anyone, if you're a young person from London or the UK, you can actually be whatever you want, like right now.
Yeah.
Like
Right
if
now.
there was a time, do you know what I mean? Of course, like growing up, our teachers stuff, you can, but I feel like right now you can really just wake up and say, yeah, I want to be this person, and or like I feel like jobs are just getting created out of nothing.
True, innit?
Do you know what I mean? Like you can literally be whoever you want to be.
is it an exciting time to be a Manchester United fan with such young talent?
Yes, it's exciting. Very stressful. I'm seeing bare United shirts.
Bare.
Bare United shirts. A very stressful time.
Oh, let's build a United 11.
I think there's only one name.
There's only one name.
Who's that
Only
name?
one name.
Ooh,
What, David Beckham's the only name.
That's the only name.
Remember that time we had you on FIFA and Chill?
Yeah.
And you did beat me. Fair enough.
Yeah, quickly.
It wasn't quick, it was 2-1. It was
easy,
2-1.
easy, go on.
But, you know, we said your name 3 times and you appeared.
Yeah.
I got this route. But you appeared when you laughed.
he was here.
He did appear, to be
That
honest.
was real. That was real, by the way, as well, you know.
I have heard, right now, if we say Beckham's name 3 times, he'll appear. Let's try it. You're going to do it with me, yeah? All right, wait, do it with me. Wait, let's try it. I'm just saying, let's try it, yeah?
Nice. It must work, I reckon.
Look,
Get my
everyone's
glasses
sat-
on.
Say it with me, yeah? All right, say it with me. All right.
1, 2, 3.
Beckham. Where are you, cuz?
I feel really insecure right now. Just, you shouldn't. Like,
Basically, the first thing I've got to say, your teeth are amazing, bro.
thank you very much. I take a look at this kit behind us. I mean, what's your thoughts on it? What's your thoughts on the actual kit for next
I
season?
mean, I like it. The lads will like it, and I think the fans will like it.
You know what it is? You see, when I see the kit, I always got to kind of think how I'm going to rock it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
How are you going to dab in it, yeah?
oh, nah, none of that.
We were speaking about United, you know, with Stormzy a bit earlier.
Yeah.
Who were the standout players for you this season with United?
I mean, I think that the team have done all right this season. I think at the end of the day, you know, we're going to look at what the results are at the end of the season. And we're obviously in the FA Cup final, which is always something that, you know, as a United fan, the United players, we always used to enjoy. And, you know, obviously losing last night was disappointing, but we could still make the Champions League. So, we'll see. But overall, this season, it's not turned out too bad.
But what other areas within the team, without disrespecting any of the boys there at the moment, man, doing a good job, who else could you see potentially coming in just to take Man United back to them Alex Ferguson heights?
Well, I think it's Man United. So, the majority of players out there want to play for Man United as a club. But, like you say, we've got a couple of good players coming through. Rashford, I think, is a player, for me, that it's exciting to see him because he's young, he comes in, he plays with confidence, he plays with the kind of presence of a Man United player as well at such a young age. And it's great to actually see, young players come in like that. And when he's got players like Wayne to look up to, the way he plays, the way he works, players like that, and Martial, obviously he's such a young talent as well, and he's powerful. He can score goals, but he's still young, but that's what we need. We need young 100%. Players at the club.
If you could have one player tomorrow, no Messi, no Ronaldo, just anyone else, you could have someone come in tomorrow at United, who would you get? Pogba.
In this season, I think everybody here agrees was the most crazy one we probably had in our lifetime. Leicester City have won the league. Can we go on? Yeah, give it a round of applause. Leicester City.
For football, at least, you know what I mean?
It's absolutely crazy.
Is it the greatest story ever in the Premier League, next to the likes of Alex Ferguson and that treble? In football in general, yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. When a club like Leicester City wins the Premiership, it's kind of amazing, especially after the season that they had last year. They were fighting against relegation, all year round, and then, this year. But it proves, they've got young talent, they've got experienced players, they've got an experienced manager, but they've got a team spirit like no other. So, that can go a long way, but they deserved it. They were the best team in the league this year, and they can. I think people were expecting them to slip up, every week. People were saying, maybe this is the week where they're going to lose.
I said I'll cut my hair if they win the league, and guess what? My hair's still hair. It's not going anywhere.
So it's it's kind of amazing, but they deserved it. So it's amazing for them as a club.
What do you reckon for England in the Euros? Can we actually do it? I mean, there's no expectation on us for the first time in years.
There's no expectation, but to be honest, there's always going to be pressure because we're England, and every time that we go into a big competition, people want to beat us, people want to defeat us, and that's the way it always is. I think Roy's done a great job, and obviously Gary's done a great job as well. I have to say that. So, I think at the end of the day, it's quite exciting going into this competition.
Come on, Jamie Vardy. We have to talk about Jamie Vardy. If we're talking about underdog stories, I mean, he's come from, non-league football. Now he's in the Prem. Fleetwood.
Do you know, it's that raw talent again. He's, like you say, he's come from non-league and he's come into the Premiership and he scores. It's pure talent and hard work, and I think that's what you see with him. He's a goal scorer. He's like a Michael Owen. No matter what happens, you're going to get a goal from Michael Owen, and it's the same with Vardy. He's done it all season long, and he'll do it for England because he's not scared to play. He's been down in the lower league, and now he's playing for England. So it's amazing.
I will be dead honest. You see, with England, I never have a clue. I honestly never have semis or groups. I couldn't tell you.
You think you're an underdog though?
I couldn't tell you. I feel like it's unpredictable every year. But I feel like there's new life now with
Dele Alli,
Dele.
Dyer.
So hopefully this year can be the best year I've seen from England.
One question on the Vardy topic though. The whole Jamie Vardy's having a party thing's been popping off. If you were at Jamie Vardy's party, what would you be doing?
What would you bring?
Would you be rapping? Would you be in the kitchen?
Cooking?
Winding a ting on the corner?
I don't know, So I could imagine being with Vardy and the lads and just being in the corner, just happy to be there. I'm just good to be here, so yeah.
David, how about yourself? Vardy's party?
I'm not sure I'd get an invite. I'm too old for those
You're
kind
not,
of parties.
mate.
I am, a little bit.
Can't be. That cream you're using looks amazing, mate, so there's no way. We represent Copper 90, and we've got an audience that watch called the Copper Fam. So you're familiar with them from FIFA and Chill. And they've sent in quite a few questions.
But T-Price66 says, do you regret any of your hairstyles?
I don't regret any of them, but there
Keane
were a few of them were...
You look like Post Malone, innit?
A few of them were close to the mark, but...
It's like a Sean Paul video, it's mad.
I mean, when I did the cornrow, that thing, that was kind of... I did it when I was on holiday, and then I came back, and then I went on a trip with England to South Africa. And I think when I look back at the pictures, and I was sat with Nelson Mandela with cornrows, that's probably when that's one of the ones that I probably regret at the time.
What do you think about all these rappers mentioning your name? Is it like a beg friend thing? It never happens to me. Like, do they phone you and get confirmation first? Like Drake said it on his last album.
I was listening to his album the other day, and I was like, he just said my name. So it was,
Did you hear the bar as well? You should have phoned him like
it's kind of, you know, it's funny.
So yeah, you're chilling with Snoop Dogg. He said that you're one of his best mates. That he like runs tracks past
funnily
you.
enough, we hit a good friendship up actually quite a few years ago. Yeah, and we did an Adidas thing together about 10 years ago now, and in LA, and we talk all the time. But
you and Snoop Dogg talk all the time.
Yeah.
It's the same Snoop Dogg from...
yeah, that one.
That's like Kylie Minogue and Skepta. You're just like...
Hey, one question here from Piers Pomegranate, very creative name. Says, what was the hardest game of football you've ever played in?
I think the semi-final of the Champions League against Juventus was
Turin. Oh my
Lord.
was a tough game because obviously we went into it thinking that we had a really good chance, and then obviously we found ourselves a few goals down after 10 minutes, and then thought we weren't going to reach the final. But then obviously Keane started the ball rolling with the header, and then we kicked on from there. But I think games like that are always tough. Having
him as a captain, you must have learnt so much. What does it take to be a good captain?
I think there's different captains, obviously, in sports, and I was a totally different captain to obviously how Keane was. Keane was more vocal, but he also set example the way he played, and I tried to set an example. I wasn't as vocal. I was quite a quiet captain at most of the time, but my work ethic was something that I felt that would help the team. But obviously, when you play with players like Roy Keane, he's one of the reasons why we were so successful at Manchester United. People talk about, obviously, the class of '92 and the young players that came through, and obviously we were successful. But the only reason we were successful was because of players like Roy Keane, Brian Robson, Steve Bruce, Gary Pallister.
There's one question here for Storms. You could choose a game where you could have been on the end of a Beckham cross. What game would it have been?
Yeah, it would have to be Champions League final, but I'm just trying to think what I would do if a cross came in from Beckham.
Overhead kick, come on.
Nah, I'll probably just step out the way. Actually, I don't want nothing to do with this.
If you could sign anyone for Miami FC, who would it be?
Well, the great thing about obviously owning a club is the fact that, when I was 12, 13 years old, I used to sit around with my mates and say, imagine if we owned a club one day. Imagine what would we do? What kit would we wear? What colour would we wear? What players would we bring in? What would the stadium be like? And all of a sudden, I'm in a position now where I own a team and we're kind of putting the club and the team together, which is kind of amazing. So if I had any players that I would bring into the club, it's they'd have to have a lot of passion, a good work ethic. I think players like Leo, Messi and Cristiano, those two players, I think they're at the top of their game. When kids ask me the question, who do you prefer, Messi or Ronaldo? It's an impossible question because they're two hard-working players that have got so much talent, and I think it's very difficult to choose.
All-star five-a-side team from both of you.
Me up front.
That's bad boy. That's bad boy.
The hair on goal. I've got a soft spot for him. Yeah, so you can go on the right if you want.
Thank you very much.
Go on the right.
Thank you.
Messi on the left.
Yeah. Centre-back, though.
We don't play with centre-backs.
Right.
Probably have Lukaku just behind me.
Yeah. Bex is his five-a-side team.
Schmeichel in goal. Zidane.
Ooh.
Wait. I didn't get none of that. You are bad.
Zizou, Messi, Brazilian Ronaldo, and myself.
Obviously.
Round of applause there.
Wow. All right, we're going to end it on a selfie. Then Bex is going to leave the building. Can we get the massive selfie right now?
Yeah, let's try it.
Let's try it.
Turn around.